Yeah, my name is Dan Keenan, and I guess like the story is about the Point Cruz. And what happened was that I was found in an orphanage called Star of the Sea Orphanage in Incheon, South Korea. And that was by Father Ed Riley, and he was, at the time, he was the ship's chaplain of the Point Cruz. So he went back to the skipper, John Haywood, and said there was this Caucasian baby in the orphanage. And again, I was the only Caucasian baby there. I guess that's why I stuck out so much. And so anyway, they both knew that a Caucasian baby would never survive in Korea at the time. I'm sure it hasn't changed. They're very big on racial purity. And like, for instance, at the time, Sister Philomena headed the orphanage, but she had Korean nurses and aides, and those aides and nurses refused to have anything to do with me. They wouldn't feed me, they wouldn't change my diapers, they wouldn't hold me. So she also knew that I would never survive there. So the skipper ordered Father Riley to take me from the orphanage, breaking every military regulation in the book, and they brought me on board the Point Cruz. And just briefly, they made like a crib from like an old bomb crate. They took sheets and cut them up into diapers. When I was brought on board, I was malnourished. I needed medical attention, so they also tended to that, you know, and I had a proper diet. There's so many stories. One thing is they used to hang the diapers from the yardarm. And one time a ship was passing, and they see these diapers hanging from the yardarm, and they ready to go to the Point Cruz. They go, we don't understand. What's your signal mean? And the Point Cruz ready to go back, baby son on board. And so then they were able to get a visa and a passport, and that's a long story, but they were able to do that, and it was very difficult. And then also at the same time, my father, Dr. Hugh Keenan, at the time he was an officer and a doctor on a medical ship, and he also went to the orphanage. And as he tells that he came to the orphanage and he fell in love with me. Back then I had blue eyes and blonde hair. And anyway, and so he came to Father Riley and he said, can I adopt this baby? And so then, you know, Father Riley told the skipper about, you know, hey, we have this, essentially a guy who's, you know, an officer and a gentleman. I think he'd really take care of Danny and, you know, provide him a great home. So the skipper said, sure, let's go ahead and do it. So then Father Riley, what they did was I was flown from Incheon to Opama, Japan. Father Riley escorted me the whole way. Then I came to put on a transport carrier, and that took me from Japan to Hawaii and then to Seattle, where my mom was there to meet me and pick me up and take me back to Spokane. So that's the story in a nutshell. You know, again, there's absolutely no doubt I would not have survived. I would have either perished in the orphanage or, you know, again, because of the racial purity, I would have been an outcast. And yeah, if not for the intervention of the Point Cruz, I would not be here talking with you today. I mean, that's a fact. They literally saved my life. My mother passed away when I was in high school, and Dad, he passed away, he was 90 years old. But he passed away in it was 2009. But I was very fortunate. I had a wonderful home and just a great upbringing. So I have two sons, Robbie and Ryan, and Rob lives in Bellevue, and Ryan lives in the Los Angeles area. You know, and they made a movie. It was on CBS. It starred Richard Thomas, John Boy as my father, and Gerald McCraney played the skipper, and it was called 1,000 Men and a Baby. And it aired, you know, it was on a Sunday night. I think it was in 1997. Can't remember the exact air date. But anyway, they made a movie about it. I think they did a good job of portraying, you know, the atmosphere and the spirit of how the crew rallied around having a baby on board. They really did a good job at that. I've had an incredible time in Branson. I mean, seriously, it has been awesome. The hospitality of everyone. You know, every place that we've gone, people have been so nice and so, you know, pleasant, so welcoming. You know, we went to a Clay Cooper concert last night, and right in the middle of the concert, and I have to backtrack, Rayo, our coordinator, group coordinator for the Point Cruz, he had sent him a copy of the story and also sent him some pictures. And so right in the middle of the second act, Clay comes off the stage and walks over to me with a microphone and says, yes, we have a special guest in our audience today, Danny, and talked briefly about the Point Cruz, and he hands me the microphone and says, Danny, would you like to tell the story? And so I was kind of like, oh, okay. And so I did. I tried to do as best I could, but it was very nice of him. And I plan on writing him and thanking him. You know, that was very generous of him to allow me to, you know, to have that opportunity to share the story. you know, right in the middle of his act. I mean, holy smokes. I was, you know, talk about lucky. The first night we came here Monday night, but Tuesday we got tickets to the Price is Right live show. And talk about luck. First of all, I bid on a digital camera, and I bid at $1, and everyone else overbid. So I got to go up on stage, and it was the punch a bunch game. And my second punch, I got $2,500, which is, you know, that's the highest amount you can earn. And I've heard from a number of different people that nobody, since the show has been on, that no one's won that high a cash amount. So, you know, that's talk about icing on the cake. I mean, that's just been awesome. Yeah, that was a great experience. Branson Tourism Center has been awesome.